How to improve your game speed and agility. So people often think that just getting faster is going to make them get more plays, be noticed by scouts, whatever it is. While that is half true, and it can really help you if you're severely lacking in it, when have you ever watched a game or watched a play and seen an athlete purely run straight down the line? For 90% of athletes in sports, you are constantly accelerating, decelerating, changing direction, going back and forth, left and right, forward, back, everything. And that is what actually makes up the game speed and agility that's going to put you in the correct positions in order to make the tackle, make the play, be in position to hit the three, whatever it is for you. So we're going to go over the 7 keys that you need to be working in order to make this happen and be a faster, more explosive, more agile athlete in terms of your lateral quickness and change of direction. So the 7 keys that we have, or the 7 things that we really need to develop. Some are mental, some are more physical in nature, and how we combine these all together is what truly makes up our agility. So when we are in a sport, we're always reacting and making decisions within our environment that's always changing by players changing position, balls being thrown, whatever it is. And that's where these first 2 come into play. It's our reaction to our environment and our decision making. So our reaction time is based off of how much we are able to interpret through our eyes, sounds, feel, whatever it is, intuition, and then being able to react in the right direction, correct speed, right direction, angle, in order to make that happen, right? But you can have the ability to react, but if you stay frozen and don't make the decision to hit a certain move or to sprint in a certain direction, that's not going to happen for you. You're not going to be put in the best possible position in order to make that play. So that's why reaction and decision making are super, super important. Now, there's a lot of mental processing that happens with this. So we need to be able to train this effectively as well within our training. It doesn't have to be exactly like the sport. We're just simply trying to get our mind and our brain wired correctly to make the correct input, to be able to siphon through all the thousands of possible different outcomes we could do and choose the correct one at a moment's notice. So a couple of things that we do in order to build reaction and some decision making. One drill is a mirror drill that we use inside of our Elite Speed system, which is inside of our Elite Athlete Project membership. So a mirror drill is simply when you can have 2 athletes either just going laterally, you can have 4 or multiple cones, and one is the lead, one is going to react off them. So one's making the decision and one's reacting and making the decision to follow them with that. Now another one that we really like, and these are a little bit lower level introductory type to start the mental processing, is having them react off of a coach or off of a certain sound or stimulus or color or sight that they are going to be able to use, such as a 4-cone drill where the athlete is in the middle and the coach is simply pointing to different directions and they're having to react based off the skill that or the movement that they said that they wanted them to do. These are great drills to help with true agility and decision and reaction making processes. Now that's all good, but as an athlete, to be able to react and be explosive, quick, off the line, whatever it is, you need to have body awareness, because in a game you could be throwing a move, you could be running, you could see a defender, but if you don't have the body awareness in order to gather yourself in a low, good position, athletic position, and you don't have the awareness of where you are at in space, you are ultimately going to react and get yourself put out of position because you don't have the body awareness to know where your feet are in space, how close you are to the line. So this is what is known as proprioception. So this body awareness piece can be developed just by everyday living and lifting and running and agility drills. It simply takes an awareness and thinking a little bit further through what you're doing. You could even implement different stops if you're a coach or a parent. But one thing that we like to do is we like to work from the ground up. So this is a very simple way, is that just start trying to notice, say you're doing a squat or a lunge, just start trying to notice when you're doing the squat or the lunge, where your feet are, where's your big toe, where's your pinky toe. A lot of athletes are going to have trouble being able to actually decipher where that is because they haven't built that proprioception or awareness in order to make that happen. So you can do this throughout your gym, your lifting, any sort of thing there, And then the other thing I mentioned is starting to have the other aspect around agility, right? You can implement stops where they sprint and stop, and then they have to stop at the line without looking down at the line. So they are building that awareness of how far away they are in space and able to organize their body and make that happen. One drill that we use to help with this a little bit is it also helps with our technique and footwork, is our power cut and stop. So we'll run up to the line, we'll hit a power cut, making sure we have the right technique, look down, see where our feet are in space. Do we have the correct technique? How close are we to the line? Where are we at? That can start to help develop this for you. Now, we have reaction, decision making, body awareness. Now let's get into the things that we can train in the physical nature that can really help us. So the four main things that we have that really affect your agility overall are your force absorption, deceleration, re-acceleration or acceleration, which we covered before in our previous videos and all of that, and our footwork and technique. So when it comes to force absorption, that's how we can land and absorb that force. Some of the things that we can do and train in the gym are going to be doing eccentric type lifting, where we're slowing it down so we can absorb the force a little bit more. Different lands, if we're talking about plyometrics. We have isometrics to help develop a lot of strength in tendon stiffness in specific sport-specific angles that are going to aid to that ability in order for us to change laterally, forward and back, which will help us overall with the the force absorption. And we have various stability type movements we can do to help aid in that. If we don't have a very stable joint, we're not going to be able to plant, redirect, and get out. Now the next thing is our deceleration. So deceleration is simply our ability to absorb force quickly with some body awareness and technique. So these are working together. So say we're coming into a cut. We are absorbing force, we have our technique and our body awareness where we're at in order to decelerate. The last one we have, not the last one, we have our acceleration, okay? We went over that in the previous videos with drive phase. Everything that we're doing in agility is to be able to stop, redirect, and then to put ourselves right back into good acceleration mechanics to get out quickly and change direction. And the last thing is your footwork and technique. I'm telling you, if you're just doing ladder drills, you are severely missing out on a lot of agility performance gains that you could potentially have. We think ladder drills are great for developing some younger athletes' body awareness, proprioception, but in the sense of true agility, it is not going to happen for you because it's pre-planned and it's not exactly how it works in the actual games. Now, if you want to use ladder drills for different hops, plyometrics, great, go for it. As a priming mechanism, awesome, I'm all for it. But true footwork and agility, okay, it is reacting off that environment, but there are a few staples that we can have in terms of our footwork and agility that are going to allow us to be better. And this is what I've learned from my strength and conditioning coach, and I've taught to hundreds of athletes that have shaved so much time off of pro agility shuttles. And it's this: it's having the foot outside of your hip. Okay, if our foot is not outside, or we're using our inside foot to cut, we are going to be not able to absorb force and redirect it to the most optimal angle. And another thing I mentioned earlier is when we are stopping and we're absorbing that force, we want that outside foot to be slightly in front of the foot that's the front leg. So that the back leg, that foot and that toe needs to be slightly in front, because when you change direction, you want to open and you don't want to have to clear your hips. If your foot's behind and you have to come all the way around your own hips, you're going to be off course. You're not going to be running a straight direction. So these are the 7 keys to improving your game speed and agility. If you want us to take care of all of these things for you inside of a strategic program to get you faster, improve your game speed, and improve your agility, join the Elite Athlete Project by clicking below and get started on the Elite Speed system.